greater pleasure that I welcome you this balmy evening to the launch of Restaurant Week 2009. Change of a significant parallel this year by a change in name from the familiar King Restaurant Week to Restaurant Week. For the week of November 7 through 14, SSCO and the Cleaner Company have expanded the event to include this year the island's north coast cities of Ocho and Montego Bay. It is great Thank you. It is with great delight that we welcome 9 restaurants from Montego Bay and 7 restaurants from Ocho to the already distinguished list of participating restaurants, bringing this year's total to 45 restaurants island-wide. I wish to especially congratulate these who willingly came on board in a collective spirit to begin the exciting trend of eating out on the North Coast. I'm particularly pleased tonight to welcome 2 people from the North Coast who made the trip to be with Eva Myers from Vitas and representing Margarita, Mr. Mayor. I don't know where he is. I can't. Thank you so much for coming. It's wonderful to have representation, and we're really looking forward to exciting both towns the way that I think Kingston is excited every year. Simply put, Restaurant Week is a week of culinary celebration in which leading restaurants will slash their dinner prices by 30% in exchange for a massive advertising campaign encouraging the best Jamaican restaurants for less and more broadly the concept of eating out all year round. This year, the restaurants will be divided in 4 categories, offering fixed price menus: $2,500 for $3,000, $1,600 and $1,350. As always, for those of you who wish to take advantage of the and after, each Restaurant Week diner, upon presentation of a stamped receipt from any participating restaurant, will be eligible for a complimentary cocktail courtesy of our official beverage sponsor. Now you all know who that is, right? Trade Winds Citrus Limited. It all began as an act of courage on a personal level to redirect my life at 50, courage that Kingston and ultimately Jamaica would embrace an innovative idea that would include a broad section of the dining public. Armed with this optimism, 5 years ago, I approached the Gleaner to become my title sponsor. The outcome of which by now is thankfully evident, and together we continue to convince the Jamaican public that eating out is in. I have grown close to my Gleaner family, and I would like to publicly acknowledge their commitment to the event and to commend them on the excellent job they do in bringing to the public an awareness of the event. My special thanks, as always, to my Gleaner working team, Karen, Terry, and Barbara, for their contributions. And speaking of Gleaner, at this point I would like to call upon Mr. Chris Barnes, the Managing Director, to say a few words on behalf of Gleaner. Chris, this is becoming our annual date.
First of all, I want to commend Stephanie and the organizer for their vision and guts to expand in an environment where it seems that most others, including our government, apparently, are looking to contract. This behavior is typical of when you have a good thing going, and Stephanie and her team should do. On that note, welcome to Restaurant Week, Ocho Rios and Montego Bay, restaurants and diners. The Gleaner is very happy to once again be associated with this successful event. Like our commitment to place greater emphasis on the good things happening in Jamaica, Restaurant Week is committed to placing greater emphasis on good dining. Ladies and gentlemen, like good news, good food happens in Jamaica. In this recessionary environment, I am sure that I am not the only one who is looking forward to good food on a tight budget. It's not just about an expensive meal. It is also about spending quality time with loved ones, colleagues, and friends. Some great and probably fat Greek philosopher said we should look for someone to eat with before looking for something to eat. There are few greater joys than mixing the ingredients of food, laughter, and fun together for the ultimate dining experience. Heard that, Stuart? Speaking of friends, this event is nothing without its sponsors, and to this end I'd like to commend all those who, like the Gleaner, know a good thing when they see it. A hearty welcome to Latecomer Appliance Traders Limited, who in a great display of non-partisanship, so rare these days, has come on board to endorse and enhance the Gleaner-sponsored Restaurant Week experience. A hearty welcome also goes out to Jamaica Trade and Invest. The Gleaner stands committed to its long-term friendship with Stephanie, and I'm glad she said that earlier because we feel the same. We are committed to the long-term friendship with Stephanie, which has made Restaurant Week what it is, and we are looking forward to providing readers and diners alike with a fine experience, which is Restaurant Week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and happy dining.
Now I have some exciting news. In recognition of the growing popularity of its online edition, the Gleaner proudly announces that as of tonight, Marlene said I mustn't say technically streaming live, but I love how it sounds. Streaming live on their website, www.go-jamaica.com/RW will appear information on all the participating restaurants and clubs, including the individual menus for each. A special thanks to Marlene and her team for making this happen. Thank you, Marlene. Now you can all pull out your BlackBerry and go ding, 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 and have a look at what's in store for you for Restaurant Week. Okay, it's no secret that the current economic climate has diminished corporate sponsorship, and that 2009 presented somewhat of a challenge in securing the necessary sponsorship to sustain this exciting promotion. I wish to commend the loyalty of my returning sponsors and the courage of my new sponsors in joining with me in this difficult year to support this highly anticipated event. This year, for the first time, we are proud to announce that one leading Jamaican company carries the distinction of being our only first-year sponsor and the official spirit and juice provider of the event. I raise a toast and a heartfelt welcome to Tradewind Citrus Limited and their brands True Juice, True Tea, Rum Bar, and Calico Jack. It is well known both locally and internationally that rum punch is synonymous with Jamaica and Jamaican hospitality. And Restaurant Week is proud to be associated with the new Calico Jack and happy to be part of launching and promoting these distinctly Jamaican products by means of our event. Thank you, Mark, and thank you to everybody. Now, while on the subject of things truly Jamaican, I would thank you, Chris. I would like to thank our second-tier sponsor, just keep it for me, thank you, Norgay, who again this year have renewed their sponsorship and who, throughout the year, have provided our Jamaican chefs with opportunities to broaden their culinary horizons in the preparation of another Jamaican staple, saltfish. This year, as a result of their exciting promotions, many restaurants, I hesitate to say how many, but I think at least 10 or 12 restaurants have included innovative, non-traditional saltfish recipes on their menu. Thanks to Norgay and to their local wonderful representatives, Procom. Thank you, Jean, Nanda, and everybody. Okay, having made reference earlier to our challenging economic times, we are very reassured and thankful to be associated with our next and returning second sponsor, the official bank of Restaurant Week, RBTT, whose personal service and expertise allows you to imagine more for yourself. RBTT credit card holders, in fact, will enjoy more for themselves as they take advantage of the next 2 VIP days where RBTT credit card holders will exclusively be allowed to make reservations at all our 45 restaurants. So if you don't have an RBTT credit card, you ain't anybody. And you need to get one. Okay, eating out is definitely in thanks to Restaurant Week, but arriving in style is a given always and forever, both here tonight and throughout the city, thanks to the Stewart's Automotive Group, BMW and Suzuki, who continue to be our second-tier sponsors, the official car of Restaurant Week, the preferred cars of our renowned athletes and of the Jamaican public. Thank you, Stewart's, for your loyalty and for that wonderful, elegant touch that you added to tonight's launch. Thank you very much. Not to mention the air conditioning, which was a lovely respite when you got brought around. Thank you, Mrs. B. Thank you, all the Stewart family. Okay, our first third-tier sponsor this year is Jamaica Trade and Invest. This sponsorship reinforces for me an important element of my vision for Restaurant Week from the inception, that of the promotion of our island through food and our food products. JTI joins Restaurant Week in promoting Jamaican brands, linking Jamaican chefs and restaurants, and overseas chefs and restaurants with a wide range of Jamaican products and their manufacturers. JTI, we are privileged that you have chosen us as a truly Jamaican initiative with which to be associated. Thank you so much. Joining us for the first time as a third-tier sponsor is, as Chris may mention, Appliance Traders Limited, the leading supplier of household and commercial appliances to the island's restaurants and consumers. I recall the attention many years ago of a young air conditioning salesman, can you guess who that may have been, as he supervised the installation of my family's first air conditioning. To this day, Appliance Traders stands firm on their commitment and their reputation for service, embodied in their tagline, powered by service. Thank you to Appliance Traders and welcome aboard. And I wish I had that air conditioning now. Oh, like the perfect end to a perfect meal. Lastly, I wish to thank Cafe Blue for returning as our third-tier sponsor and the official provider of that perfect cup of coffee for all our diners. Jason, I don't know where you are, but in absentia, I thank you. Many thanks to our promotional sponsors, Busher Brown, Walker Wood, and Craft Cottage, who remain our faithful friends. Additionally, and most importantly, my personal thanks to Tamara Scott Williams, my publicist, Heather Kong, graphics, Mary Claire Lyons, my assistant, Sharon Thomas, decor, and all my supportive friends and family whose patience and encouragement keep me strong and optimistic. Thanks to the Jamaica Tourist Board for once again this year endorsing the event and for enhancing Restaurant Week's exposure through their agencies abroad, including the annual press trip of overseas journalists. Just recently, I'm proud to say, I received notice from Rudolphin in New York that this month's Travel and Leisure magazine will feature Restaurant Week in their new column, Where to Go Next. Isn't that great? I'm particularly excited that the inclusion of Ochiris and Montego Bay will allow more visitors to partake of the spice of our heritage through our cuisine and the variety of our restaurants. I wish to lastly welcome all our media practitioners who are here tonight and to acknowledge their commitment over the years to this event and ask that they continue to lend their sporting support to what has become a permanent fixture on our entertainment calendar. My decision to change the press launch this evening was in a large measure due to the opportunity to be the first to have the pleasure of enjoying the newly renovating heritage site, which so stately sits in the midst of our bustling city. My congratulations to the team at Devon House Development Company who have successfully transformed the exterior of this beautiful location and who are busy at work transforming the interior. Thank you to Janet and to Monique for all your help and for allowing us this very special privilege. According to the official website, the mission statement reads, Devon House is a heritage site which will actively promote the development of authentic Jamaican art, craft, education and entertainment in a comfortable, clean and safe environment. Tonight, in my role as a promoter of Restaurant Week, I would like to urge that that mission statement be expanded and amended to include additionally the promotion of restaurants here at this historic venue. Please, everybody, and I'd love to see that happen. The original owner of Devon House and Jamaica's first black millionaire, George Sibel, in 1891 assisted the then government to fund the Great Exhibition, which sought to actually introduce tourism to the island. We are proud, 128 years later, from the steps of his home, Restaurant Week and its participating restaurants island-wide can in some small way carry forward his vision to showcase Jamaica to the world. I look forward to the day when this charming site will be a home to the tapestry of tastes that is so characteristic of our Jamaican cuisine and our Jamaican culture. From the inception, this brainchild of mine has always held for me a sense of pride in that it incorporates both a civic touch and an economic benefit. My guest speaker tonight in some ways parallels this admirable combination. A civic-minded Jamaican dedicated to the progress of his country through his contributions to innovative economic initiatives. I welcome tonight my friend and the president of the private sector organization of Jamaica, Mr. Joseph Mattalon. Joe?
Thank you very, very much, Steffi, and greetings to everybody here this evening, title sponsors, first, second and third tier sponsors, restaurateurs, ladies and gentlemen. When Steffi first called me to suggest to me that I might say a few words at this evening's launch, I initially resisted. In her consummate marketer's style, she proceeded to tell me that, Joe man, you only have to say a few words, bring greetings from the PSOJ. You can imagine my consternation then when I saw for the first time yesterday evening the program which indicated that I was to issue an address. I thought I was in even greater trouble when I realized, having left my office, that I'd left my jacket behind. But when I arrived and saw Mr. Christopher Barnes as lowly dressed as he is this evening, I realized that I am probably need to dress down a little bit, and as soon as I finish this address, I'm going to be removing my tie. But seriously though, I was especially pleased to accept Steffi's invitation for a number of reasons. First of all, because it's Steffi and she's my friend, and I've known her all my life. She's a little bit older than me, and in fact, Steph, I would advise that you don't share with too many people that you were around when air conditioning was first introduced. I can't remember a time in my life when there was not air conditioning. So that was the first reason, Steffi. The second reason is that Restaurant Week is an initiative that has been undertaken by a small business in Jamaica. and it is an initiative that is in the support of other small businesses. And as the president of the PSOJ, I feel very, very strongly that small business in Jamaica represents our future. Small businesses the world over are noted to be the greatest marginal producers of jobs in any economy. And Chris has talked about the possible contraction that we may be seeing in government. And I would suggest that that will be a great opportunity for members of the private sector to step up to the plate and to provide employment perhaps for some of those that may be displaced in the course of the restructuring that the government is likely to set about. The other reason that I felt very much inclined to speak this evening was one of the reasons that Steffi mentioned, one of the reasons why I imagine JTI is involved and the Tourist Board is involved in this effort. And that is the importance of really promoting our urban centers, whether Kingston or our tourist urban centers on the North Coast, as popular destinations for tourists and all that that can bring in terms of small business development. Perhaps, however, the most important reason why it gave me so much pleasure to accept Steffi's invitation was that I really do think that Stephanie and Restaurant Week represent all that is really good about the entrepreneurial spirit that I think is alive and well in Jamaica. She has taken an international concept, adapted it to our own social mores and circumstances, and made a tremendous success of Restaurant Week for Jamaica, not only for her own small business, but for the business of all the restaurateurs that are involved and all the sponsors who benefit from the activities during the course of the week. You who are sat here listening to me this evening are fortunate that I didn't in fact notice earlier that it was an address, because I might have prepared something longer, but the fact is that that's about as much as I have to say. I want to, in closing, wish SSCO and all of the participating restaurateurs and their sponsors the very best of luck and success, what I know will be a success in the coming Restaurant Week. And to the potential patrons, among which I will count myself one of the restaurants during this Restaurant Week, I say bon appetit. Thank you very much.
So we're here with Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stewart, good night. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing wonderful. With this rolling out of a new Restaurant Week, no longer called Kingston Restaurant Week, how do you feel about that?
Oh, fantastic. Steffi does a great job with this event. We know that people will come out and support it, and of course we want them to arrive in style.
Okay, so what do you plan to do in terms of Restaurant Week in bringing out passengers? Persons to Restaurant?
Well, our participation is as a sponsor, so we are also promoting with our customers to come to Restaurant Week. We are also taking some celebrities to the restaurants using BMWs and Suzukis. So this is how our participation is structured.
All right. With Stewart's, you're known as one of the top car companies. You want to tell us about some of your cars that you currently have in stock?
Well, sure. We have a great thing going on now with the government stimulus. So we have very special pricing on cars that are in stock. Grand Vitara is Jamaica's #1 selling SUV, and we have those going hot.
With recession and everything, are you guys affected by that?
Of course, the car business was severely affected by the downturn in the economy, and this is one of the reasons why we asked for help from the government. Business this year is more than 50% down over last year, but the current prices are set to move the product, and people should come to the showrooms now because they won't see prices like this again.
How long have you been a sponsor in Restaurant Week?
We've been with Steffi for the last 3 years. I could be wrong, it might be 4, but I'm going to go with 3.
And each year, what has been the experience been like in terms of the support that you get and your aspect of the car dealership business?
Well, really it's about enjoying Jamaican food and the culture and just sharing with our customers what Restaurant Week is about. It's not so much about the hard sell to sell cars. People have to get to the restaurants, and we want them to think Suzuki and BMW when they do that.
All right. I want to ask you a personal question. Do you go to Restaurant Week?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, we want you to just ask you one last question before you go and enjoy that scrumptious dinner. How do you think Restaurant Week will impact Jamaica?
Well, it contributes a lot to business. I mean, nowadays we want to get people out spending money and enjoying themselves, and this is one of the things that can do that. And I think the fact that there are more restaurants, more towns involved just says volumes to what Steffi is doing.
All right, thank you so much for speaking us here, right here on Caribbean Vibes, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Hi, so we have managed to catch up with Roxanne. Roxanne, good night. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Well, RBTT Bank is one of the biggest banks in Jamaica at the moment. How are you feeling about that?
It's great. It's great to be associated with this event. We have been associated with it for the last 3 years, and so it's a pleasure for us to be here again this year.
All right, you have a thing whereby a promotion whereby you're giving persons a chance to win some money using your credit card. Give us some more information.
Absolutely. How it will work is that the patrons of Restaurant Week, if you settle your bill with the RBTT card, your name will be put in a draw, and you'll have the chance of winning $100,000.
When you say settle your bill, do you mean settle all of your bill all at one time, or you mean as long as you make payments on your bill?
So what I'm saying is that when you go out to the various restaurants and you dine, if you pay for that meal with your credit card,
you settle the full, the next time the card is due, the payment is due, then you have a chance to be able.
no, you just need to pay for your bill at the restaurant with the card, and then your name will be put in a draw and you have the chance to win.
That's awesome. You don't really have to do anything more than buy food to eat.
Exactly.
Right. We want to ask you some other questions about RBTT Bank. How do you get a credit card? Many persons don't know. I'm not working, I don't have a job. How do I get a credit card? But I love food and I want to be a part of a restaurant.
Okay, so all you have to do is come into one of our branches and fill out an application form, and then we'll go through a process of determining whether or not we'll give you a card, and it's easy as that.
How long do your card normally take to process? For persons who want to apply today and know that Restaurant Week is coming up in another month or so, or a couple of weeks, guys, how do they manage?
It's just a few days, any time between 3 and 5 days.
All right, thank you so much for talking to us here, and I hope that this year for RBTT Bank is a very good year with restaurant.
Okay, thank you.
So we have managed to catch up with Minister Vaz. Good night, how are you doing?
Good night, so thank you very much. Enjoying myself.
Restaurant Week. This is definitely not your first time. We've known you about. How have you been finding Restaurant Week?
Excellent concept. Give you opportunity to visit all different types of restaurants that you would not ordinarily go to. So congrats to Steffi and her team, and especially in these times for her to be able to keep it going is a
big achievement.
Big achievement for her, and I really wish her a lot of luck. And the companies that have been involved, I think it is something that is commendable.
All right, a lot of stirring up has been going on in the ministry. We don't want to touch that, but we just want to ask you certain questions. How do you feel the economy is going to get a boost from restaurants?
Well, the fact of the matter is that there's not a lot of disposable income, so to encourage people to go out because of discounted prices and give them the opportunity to go and experience different forms of dining is a very good thing, and I think it will stimulate some business for the industry, which is good. People would not normally go, and they're going to go because of their special discounts and innovative offers. So that's great.
A lot of sponsors or new sponsors have come on this year. What would you say to persons who want to come on board but are not sure, kind of iffy about this project? What would you definitely say?
Well, the fact is it's proven itself. It is definitely a winner, and it has expanded outside of Kingston for the first time, which shows that there's other people in the other townships and areas that want to be involved. So I encourage everybody to do it, and I want to commend those who have come on board and those who remain on board because they obviously are aggressive in their marketing to make sure and get their products out there.
What are some of the preparations that you and your family do for Restaurant Week? For instance, you get your RBTT credit card yet to be.
Well, I can't pay the credit card bill, so I haven't gotten it as yet. But the fact is that I'm someone who likes to go out and enjoy a good meal, so I do. I have my favorite restaurants, so maybe I'll try some new ones in the coming weeks.
In the whole philosophy of restaurants, we want to say, can you cook sometime?
No, absolutely.
Why not?
Just have never gotten around to it, and some people say that I would burn water.
Okay. What are some of the restaurants outside of Kingston that you would be thinking about venturing and going out?
Unfortunately, my job doesn't allow me that luxury at this time, but I will definitely try a few out of Kingston. But in terms of out of town,
don't see yourself going out.
I don't.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to us right here on Caribbean Vibes. I wish you that it goes well, and hope to see you right there at.
Thank you, and I wish everybody happy dining.
Saltfish. Saltfish is a very popular thing in Jamaica, and we're here with Jean from Norway Seafood. Want to talk to us? Good night. How are you?
I'm very well. Nice.
Can you give us a little bit of the history behind your company?
Okay, well, our company has been around for a while, and we represent the Norwegian Seafood Export Council, which is a council of the Norwegian government. And what they do is they market the Norwegian seafood all over the world. Now, because Jamaica actually has a tradition, our national dish is ackee and saltfish. Jamaicans are the third largest consumers of saltfish per capita in the world.
That's awesome, isn't it?
It is awesome. It is really awesome. Any picky child, give them a saltfish fritter, they're going to eat it. Yes, but what the Norwegian Seafood Export Council has done is they brought in this wonderful chef, and this is her picture, and this book is yours actually, Chef Dada from Brazil, and she had a workshop with our local chefs and taught them how to soak saltfish in the refrigerator for 24 hours. And what happens? It becomes reconstituted like fresh fish. And as a result of that, you can make wonderful gourmet recipes. This is made from saltfish, okay? That is made from salt. If you soak it in ice water, it's as if it's loving its environment and coming right back to what it was.
So that's definitely like a new tradition for us, because as Jamaican, our normal typical is to boil our saltfish and make it tasty with whatever we're cooking.
So much of the nutrition when you do that. And you can actually reconstitute it like this, leave a little salt in it and make your ackee and saltfish. But then the saltfish is going to be more tender and juicier and nicer. And actually, what happened is that she had a workshop. This is a picture of her in Jamaica at her workshop, Chef Dada. And those two chefs, Colin Hilton and Anthony Miller, a few months later, they entered a competition using Norwegian saltfish. And they were the winners. And they went to Norway. I was able to take them to Norway. And they actually went to where the source of the saltfish was and fished and caught that fish, cooked it on the mountaintop, and it was absolutely delicious because the environment in Norway is so clean. So when you eat this saltfish, which is 80% of the saltfish we eat in Jamaica is from Norway, you can be sure that it's a very clean product. Because
we like that. We just want to ask you though, is it only saltfish that your company deals with, or do you have other seafoods available?
Oh yeah, no. The Norwegian Seafood Export Company is the second largest exporter of seafood in the world. So they have every imaginable type of seafood. They export crab, king crab. They export salmon. Norwegian salmon is really the most popular salmon in the world with our top chefs. And their fishing industry is worth $7 billion US a year. So you can just imagine what an important industry it is for Norway.
We can, and we're right here in the mix of the launch of the Restaurant Week, and we want to know, how did you come on board?
Well, Stephanie Scott called us and told us about the project last year, and we came on board, and we were so impressed with the way Stephanie handled it. She's so original. She really got all the restaurants involved. And because of that, we realized that it was a very good vehicle for us to promote seafood from Norway. And this year she has gone even further, because it's no longer Kingston Restaurant Week. It's Restaurant Week in Ocherius and in Montego Bay. So we are very delighted that it has now expanded even further.
And how do you feel that is going to be impacted on Jamaica?
I think it's going to be great. I think it's great for our economy. We have to remember that the restaurant industry hires a lot of Jamaicans and provides an opportunity for a lot of Jamaicans. So we think that this is going to inspire more Jamaicans to go into that business and to be able to provide not only jobs for themselves but for others.
Will you be inviting some of your Norway friends to come down to Jamaica for the restaurant?
Oh, well, they won't be able to come for Restaurant Week, but they will be coming in January for another challenge. So we will have another champion chef in January.
And how long do you plan to sponsor in Restaurant Week? Do you think you're going to sponsor it as long as it continues, or is it definitely something that you want to be a part of?
It really is looking like something we want to be a part of. I think that this is going to be a very long relationship. We're very pleased, and we think Stephanie is such an original, dynamic lady. We're happy to be associated with.
Well, here in Jamaica, we love saltfish, so we love the idea of going out and eating saltfish. So thank you so much for speaking to us right here on Caribbean Vibe.